Hello students of class 12, welcome to my next online class. So this is the continuation video on the same chapter, that is AC current. So in this video we will learn the same way we have left before, that is the LCR circuit, right? So last two classes I could not conduct, so as I was a bit busy. So I hope within this week we will be able to complete this chapter. This is AC circuit, right? And we will solve few numericals as well as few derivations also. So watch the video till the end and do practice at your home, right? So let's start our class today. You see I have drawn here one level diagram. Level graph showing variation of Z of series LCR circuit with frequency. That means we have plotted here one line, that is impedance versus frequency. In LCR circuit, when I say there is LCR, that is one inductor is there and one capacitor is there and one resistor is there. So when an inductor, capacitor and resistor is connected with an alternating voltage, that is V equals to V0 sine omega t. This is L, this is C, this is R. It has been seen that when XL becomes equals to XC, that means inductive reactance, when it becomes to capacitive reactance, there is a resonance condition. And at this resonance condition, we have seen in the last class, that is frequency becomes, that is resonance frequency becomes 1 by 2 pi root under LC, right? This is the resonance frequency and this was the angular frequency, where angular frequency equals to LC. Okay, so if it is not clear, you just see my previous video, right, where I have explained very detailedly here. Right. So here we have plotted a graph that is between Z and F. So what is the variation of impedance versus frequency? So before showing this graph, before explaining you, so let's see, Z equals to, it was XL minus XC whole square plus R square, right? So XL minus XC, when it was XL minus XC, the frequency was 1 by 2 pi root under LC. So it has been seen that, you see, when the frequency is increasing, impedance, you see, is decreasing. Impedance decreases and frequency increases. At a particular point of frequency, here we say that it's a resonant frequency, here Z becomes equals to R. That means if this is 0, you see, if XL equals to XC, then we will be getting R square, that is Z equals to root under R square, or Z equals to R. That means minimum impedance is resistance. That time the circuit starts behaving like a pure resistive circuit, right? So at resonance condition, impedance becomes very minimum, therefore the circuit starts behaving like purely resistive circuit. So this is the graph, that is impedance versus frequency graph, right? On the further increase of frequency, the impedance starts increasing. So this is the nature of the graph. So if I consider here one inductive circuit, that is L, only one coil is connected with an alternating voltage. And in my previous class we have learned that if a purely resistive circuit is connected with an alternating voltage, then voltage and current remains in the same direction, that is phase difference between them is 0, right? So that one we have represented in form of phasor diagram. And also we have seen for the inductive circuit, it has been seen here that if I need to draw the phasor diagram here, then this is the voltage and this is the current, right? So the current is lagging behind and the voltage is leading. The voltage and current in the purely inductive circuit, they are not in the same direction. There is a difference of 90 degree. That means the phase difference between voltage and current for the inductive circuit is 90 degree. So what is the question here? You see, obtain the relation I equals to I naught sine omega t minus pi by 2. So here in this question we have to show that if the alternating voltage, if E equals to E naught sine omega t, then what will be its alternating current? So it is given by I equals to I naught sine omega t minus pi by 2. So this is the derivation of this equation, right? So we are going to derive here and we will show here that how a current is lagging behind the voltage. Okay, so whenever a coil is connected with an alternating voltage, a current passes through this coil. So once it gets passes through the coil, so there is a self-induction takes place, and due to this self-induction, there will be a production of back EMF, right? And a condition comes that when this back EMF produced at this inductor becomes equals to the applied alternating voltage. So according to Kirchhoff's second law, the instantaneous value of induced EMF, that means the EMF which is induced here, that means the back EMF, is equals to the instantaneous value of the applied voltage, right? So which is given by L di by dt. So this was the self induction which is taking place across the coil. Okay, so in my previous chapter, that is, you see, in case of electromagnetism or magnetism, that chapter, wherever I have taught the different magnetic materials, there we have gone through the self induction and mutual induction. In that topic we have seen that EMF produced in an inductor is given by L di by dt, right? So what is the EMF or the back EMF produced at inductor? That is L di by dt, which is equals to the applied voltage, that is E naught sine omega t. Now if you cross multiply di by dt, L will come in the other side in the denominator, then we will be getting E0 by L sine omega t as it is. Now cross multiplication di by dt, if dt gets cross multiplied, then we will be getting here E naught by L sine omega t, and this dt will be coming here, right? Sine omega t dt. Now you see here integration. Now we'll find that as we have not started the integration chapter, so I'll just give a basic for this question. Integration of sine omega t dt, right? So integration of sine omega t dt is minus cos omega t and ddt of what is the angle here? Omega t. Okay, so this one has to be written in denominator. Like for example, when we were differentiating this ddx of sine omega t, what we got? ddx of sine is what? Cos omega t, and ddx, or here if it is x here, right? So I will consider x, otherwise it will become a constant and the answer will be 0. So as it is x here, so I have considered here x. So ddx of sine omega x, what can be written here? ddx of sine omega is cos omega x, and ddx of omega x, that is omega. Omega we used to write in front, so in case of differentiation, but in integration what we will be doing, we will be writing in denominator, right? So integration of sine omega t is minus cos omega t formula, and ddt of omega t in denominator. Now you see what we will get here? Cos omega t in numerator, and ddt of t is 1 into omega. So omega will be coming in denominator. You see, whenever we are integrating integration of sine omega t dt, this means what? Minus cos omega t, and from here omega will be coming, that will be coming in the denominator. Then omega into L, omega L, right? Now minus as it is, E naught by omega L as it is. Now sine omega t can be, or cos omega t can be written as sine 90 minus theta. Okay, so these changes we are applying here. Now minus, if you multiply within the bracket, so minus of sine x means sine minus x. So if this minus, if I substitute here, then I will be getting here omega t minus pi by 2, right? So from this equation we have got that current is lagging behind and voltage is leading, right? So this was the phasor diagram. VL is acting in upward direction and I is in the lower than VL, right? So this was the phasor diagram. This is the next derivation of AC circuit, that is obtain the relation of I equals to I naught sine omega t plus pi by 2, or we can say we have to prove in this question that current is leading and voltage is lagging. Like in inductive circuit we have seen that current is lagging and voltage was leading here, right? So we will be proving if a alternating voltage, that is E equals to E naught sine omega t, is being connected with a capacitor, so current will lead, right? So you see, whenever a capacitor is connected with an alternating AC voltage, so the capacitor plates, it gets charged and it gets discharged continuously. As we know, this alternating voltage or this alternating current, they are changing its direction and magnitude periodically. So sometimes positive half cycle of current is passing, sometimes negative half circle of this current is passing through this circuit. right? So we say that that's why the magnitude and direction is changing. So sometimes the capacitor gets charged, sometimes this capacitor gets discharged. So this positive plate and negative plate, it has been seen, sometimes it gets charged and discharged, right? So due to this discharging and charging, a current is maintained in this capacitor. So we know E equals to Q by C, that is from the electrostatic chapter. We know Q equals to CV. Same from this formula, V is here E, so E can be written as Q by C, or E can be written as E naught sin omega t, because this is the alternating voltage, right? In place of E, I have substituted here E naught sin omega t. Now if I cross multiply C in the other end, we will get C E naught sin omega t as it is. Now this is an equation in terms of charge, right? The capacitor is getting charged, the capacitor is getting discharged. If you differentiate dq by dt, that means rate of change of charge, that is called current. That means q by d, that is I equals to dq by dt. So ddt of q, what is q here? That is C E naught sin omega t. C E naught is a constant term, ddt of sin omega t is cos omega t, again ddt of omega t is omega. So what we will get here? E naught omega into C, that is omega c cos omega t. So omega c can be written as, if you need to write in the denominator, then it will come here as E naught by 1 by omega c. Okay, so actually this is the reactance, right? So E naught by 1 by omega c, and cos omega t is changed to sin omega t plus pi by 2. So sin omega t plus pi by 2, if I see the quadrant formula, second quadrant is for sin, so omega t plus pi by 2, that means it is lying in second quadrant, so therefore sin is positive here, right? So cos omega t can be also written as sin omega t plus pi by 2, or E naught by 1 by omega c means xc. So this can be written as here E naught by xc, that is sin omega t plus pi by 2, and E naught by xc is what? I naught, that is peak value of current. So here we got that I equals to I naught sin omega t plus pi by 2, right? So whenever a capacitor is connected with an alternating voltage, the current is leading and voltage is lagging. Now if we need to denote this one in terms of phasor diagram, now how we are going to show this, right? In a phasor diagram, either you can show in this way, like current is leading and voltage is lagging, right? Or you can write as this, if this is the reference line and this is the voltage, right? And this is the current. So if I consider this one as omega t, from here to here we will get as pi by 2, and this one will be pi by 2 plus omega t. That is, this is for current. This is a rotating vector for current, and this is a rotating vector for voltage, right? So this current is leading as per to alternating voltage, right? So I equals to I naught sin omega t plus pi by 2. So in my next class we'll solve few numericals, right? So for today's class only this much, we will practice these two numericals, as well as you will go for the this inductor resistor circuit, that is LR circuit, CR circuit, LCR circuit, what is resonance condition. So just go through these topics in your book, as well as watch the previous video. So in between I will keep an interactive class where you can ask your doubt. Okay, so my next class will be solving few numericals on the board, and after that I will interact with you in teams, and we can solve out the doubts if any, right? So thank you.